Hey everyone, welcome to the show. If you're an agent, broker, investor, or even just someone who cares about how real estate really works behind the curtain, you're in the right place. My name is Ron Fox, or more accurately, Ron 2.0, Ron's clone, but I digress. I'm a broker, team builder, investor, and someone who has built a business right here in a real market. Not Silicon Valley, not Wall Street, but in the neighborhoods where people actually live, work, and raise their families. This podcast is about real estate at ground level, but with a strategic lens. Not the gossip, not the headlines, not the clickbait. We're going to talk about what's actually happening in this industry, who benefits, who loses, and what it means for the everyday agent and homeowner. And there's no better way to start than with what might be the biggest strategic clash in real estate right now: the disagreement between Zillow and Compass over pocket listings. This isn't just a policy debate, it's a battle over control, over data, over distribution, over who owns the consumer relationship, and ultimately, over the future structure of our industry. Let's break it down. A pocket listing is a property that is marketed privately, not publicly placed in the MLS. It may be shared within a brokerage. It may be offered to select agents. It may be marketed quietly, but it's not broadly distributed across the open marketplace. Historically, pocket listings were used in specific situations: sellers wanting privacy, high-end properties, off-market testing, divorce or estate scenarios, unique properties. In some markets, especially luxury markets, they became common practice. Then came the MLS rules, and eventually the clear cooperation policy, which essentially said, if you publicly market a listing, you must put it in the MLS within a short time frame. The goal? Transparency, fair access, level playing field. But now the debate is back, and it's bigger than ever. Zillow has built its business on one fundamental idea: all listings should be visible to everyone. Their entire value proposition depends on comprehensive listing data. If listings go private, Zillow loses. Inventory visibility, consumer traffic, advertising leverage, premier agent positioning, flex pipeline strength. Zillow argues that pocket listings harm consumers. Their case: when listings aren't publicly exposed, sellers may get less exposure, buyers get fewer options, fair housing risks increase, transparency decreases, and they position themselves as defending the open marketplace. From a business perspective, this makes sense. Zillow thrives on scale and data. More public listings equals more eyeballs equals more monetization. Compass operates differently. They are a brokerage, not a portal. Their value proposition is agent-centric and brokerage-centric. Compass has leaned heavily into private exclusives, pre-marketing, brokerage network advantage, in-house listing ecosystems. Their argument? Not every seller wants full exposure immediately. They claim private marketing, allows price testing, protects seller privacy, creates leverage, strengthens agent-brokerage relationships. Compass positions this as empowering sellers and agents, not harming them. They argue that forcing every listing immediately into the MLS removes flexibility. Let's be honest, this is not about consumer protection alone. It's not about ethics alone. It's not about privacy alone. This is about power. Specifically, who controls distribution. If listings are public, Zillow gains leverage. If listings are private within brokerages, brokerages gain leverage. That's the real battlefield. Now let's bring this down to reality. If you're an agent listening to this, you need to ask, who benefits from your listings? Is your listing your asset, or is it a commodity in someone else's ecosystem? If listings shift more private, top brokerages gain recruiting power. If listings remain fully public, portals maintain consumer control. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Many agents rely on Zillow. Many agents also complain about Zillow. Many agents say they want independence, but they also depend on portal traffic. That's the paradox. There's something deeper happening here. Real estate is moving toward ecosystem control. Zillow is building a vertically integrated machine. Search, lead gen, CRM, showing management, mortgage, closing services, flex partnerships. Compass is building a brokerage-controlled ecosystem. In-house marketing, agent tech, internal distribution, private networks, brand dominance. Two different visions. One portal-centric, one brokerage-centric. Both are trying to own the client relationship from start to finish. That's the war. If private listings expand significantly, here's what could happen. MLS power weakens. Brokerages consolidate. Smaller brokerages lose competitive access. Large brokerages gain internal leverage, portals fight back aggressively, and regulators may step in. Fair housing concerns will absolutely be part of the conversation, because when listings are selective, access becomes selective, and selective access invites scrutiny. If the industry doubles down on strict MLS enforcement and transparency, portal dominance strengthens. Agents remain dependent on distribution platforms. Brokerages compete more on splits and support, not inventory control. Data centralization increases. That strengthens tech companies. It weakens localized brokerage power. Where do I stand? Here's the part where I won't play politician. I believe in transparency. I believe in exposure for sellers. I believe the market should determine price. But I also believe agents should control their relationships, and brokerages should build assets that aren't fully dependent on portals. The real issue isn't pocket listings. The real issue is whether agents are building businesses or renting them. If all your business flows from a portal, you don't own your pipeline. If all your inventory depends on a brokerage brand, you don't fully own your leverage either. The smart agents, they build both. They use the portal strategically. They build local brand authority. They build databases. They build repeat and referral. They create direct-to-consumer trust. That's durable. Because here's the truth. Most sellers don't care about industry politics. They care about price, timeline, certainty, stress reduction. The agent's job is to recommend the strategy that maximizes outcome. For 90% of properties, full exposure is best. For niche situations, privacy can be strategic. The key is informed consent, not agenda-driven strategy. As far as the long-term industry outlook, over the next 5 years, I expect more consolidation, more portal brokerage tension, more tech integration, more compliance oversight, more lawsuits, more hybrid models. The agents who survive and thrive will own their database, understand tech, understand compliance, understand economics, understand negotiation leverage, and most importantly, they'll understand distribution power. This podcast exists because the average agent doesn't get this level of discussion. We're too busy chasing closings, running appointments, handling inspections, managing lenders, dealing with appraisal gaps. But if you don't understand the structure of the industry, you can get squeezed by it. And I don't want to be squeezed. I want to build. I want to control. I want to grow. I want to protect the people who work with me. And I want to talk honestly about what's happening. The Zillow and Compass disagreement is not about who is morally right. It's about who controls access. Access to listings, access to buyers, access to data, access to attention. And in business, whoever controls distribution controls leverage. The question you should be asking is, where is your leverage coming from? Because if you don't know, someone else does. This is Ron 2.0. This is the show. And in the next episode, we're going to break down how agents can protect themselves no matter which direction the industry moves. Stay sharp, build smart, and don't give away your leverage.